Hare Krishna everyone, welcome to Manor. A very special day today, Shivaratri. And it's so important to have the blessings of Lord Shiva as well before we start the class. So as you all know, every Saturday, every day, 6 o'clock, we have a Bhagavad Gita class in the temple room. We are so fortunate that, we get to know the beautiful words of wisdom from Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself. And this is very important that when we come to the mandir, we should have spiritual takeaway. Just like we go and get something from the bakery, a takeaway, it's also important to get some spiritual knowledge when we come to the mandir. So we're going to start with the Jai Radha Madhava prayer, and after that we will go into the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah? Mataji, are you going? Okay, if you want to just, okay? Yeah. Just to make sure everybody is able to. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Jai Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Gauranitai ki, Jai. Hare Krishna everyone. Today we got a very interesting sloka, and the sloka is mentioned out there. So just want to give you a backdrop of this. Actually this sloka is actually from 6th chapter, Dhyana Yoga, the yoga of meditation, and just want to show you this. So as you can see in Bhagavad Gita, that's a Bhagavad Gita online, and we have chapter number 6, which is Jnana Yoga. So as you all know, Bhagavan Sri Krishna spoke different, this is the book of yoga, where Sri Krishna Bhagavan has spoken so many beautiful different types of yoga: Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. And of course, the most important, precious thing is Bhakti Yoga. And Bhakti Yoga is what is being practiced out here. So all the different types of yogas finally culminate into Bhakti Yoga. So on the way, we are just learning about Karma Yoga, about Jnana Yoga. And we see the beautiful conversation that's evolving between two best friends, Bhagavan Sri Krishna and his most dearest friend, Arjuna. Right? And it's very interesting to see, like, because many times the question comes, Bhagavad Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago. Is it relevant still in this today's modern world? Sometimes people question that. But actually, if you really think about it, what has changed from last 5,000 years to now, right? The same life. As we go through life and death, old age and diseases, has anything changed at all? We still go through the cycle, right? So cycle of life and death, old age, diseases, everything happens till now. And what about anxieties? What about problems, material problems? Have they been reduced? Have they been increased? Right? In Kali Yuga, we see that everybody is suffering from anxiety. A lot of people are having problems, right? So here, Lord Krishna is explaining about the yoga of meditation, which is called as Jnana Yoga. So we can see, I just want to step back and just see about like how this whole thing comes up, this particular sloka of 6.7, where Lord Krishna is mentioning that one who has conquered his mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. And to such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. So here, actually, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, just to give you a backdrop before we go into the sloka. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna is giving Arjuna the knowledge of Dhyana Yoga. So he tells Arjuna, for this meditation, this yoga of meditation, one should go into a forest, one should sit in a certain on a kusha grass, and he should sit in a certain level of height, and then he should keep his eyes half closed, and he should meditate on him, just focusing on the tip of the nose. And so Krishna was giving a definition of how to practice dhyana yoga. Right? And Arjuna, 5,000 years ago, imagine at that time, he is telling Krishna, it is very, very difficult to do the yoga that you're mentioning, this dhyana yoga, going into the forest and meditating with your eyes half closed and just focusing on your nose. That is something which is very, very difficult. So Arjuna himself expresses his inability to do that kind of a dhyana yoga. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadrizam tasyaham nigraham vaye Mayuru Duskritam. So Arjuna himself is saying, Krishna, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, this mind is so restless, so stubborn, so obstinate. Krishna, what are you saying? I can't do this kind of yoga. Imagine 5,000 years ago, Arjuna was saying that he cannot do that kind of a meditation yoga. Saying that the mind is just like, it's easier to control the wind, but it is very difficult to control the mind. It is very, very stubborn, it's obstinate, restless. Isn't it? Can we not identify in today's world, when we're working in the corporate world, your mind is like, when we come back home, we have so much of anxiety, right? Your mind is going through so many things. And this year I was quite surprised that in India, in the budget, they announced even a budget for mental health. And as you can see in the recent times, mental health has become a big issue, isn't it? But very interestingly, this mental health was discussed in Bhagavad Gita 5,000 years ago. Can you imagine? People talk about mindfulness, right? And this mindfulness, Krishna spoke about it 5,000 years ago. So we can imagine this is a timeless wisdom that Krishna is giving us through Bhagavad Gita, which is applicable at every stage of your life. Whom was Bhagavad Gita first spoken to? Was it to Arjuna?
The sun god.
To sun god. So as Prabhuji mentioned, imam vibhasvate yogam proktavan aham avyavyam vivaswan manave praha manur ikvake pravit. So this Bhagavad Gita was spoken millions of years ago to the sun god Vivaswan. And Vivaswan passed it on to Manu. Very interestingly, the English word man comes from the word Manu. And Manu passed it on to Ikwaku dynasty, the Raghurama dynasty. And somehow it has come. And Krishna says somehow the link got broken, the chain got broken, Arjuna. And that's the reason why I'm speaking again this Bhagavad Gita to you, right? So there's a very important chapter, Dhyana Yoga. Try to understand the conversation that is happening between Arjuna and Krishna. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, this Dhyana Yoga or meditation, going into the forest and doing this meditation, it's very, very difficult. And so Krishna himself is saying, Asamsayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagena cha grihyate. Krishna is we can learn from Krishna how to engage in conversation. He never puts off Arjuna saying, come on, Arjuna, what are you saying? He doesn't say that. He says, Arjuna, I can understand, as you said, it's very difficult to control the mind. But with complete vairagya, right? And with practice, abhyasa and vairagya, two things Krishna says we can do to control your mind. One is abhyasa, that means practice, daily practicing. And second thing is vairagya, complete detachment. So what are these? So these are the two things that Krishna tells Arjuna. Even though the mind is very difficult to control, it is still possible by practice and by detachment. And that practice is what we are told as Krishna consciousness. We are practicing the chanting of the holy name. And detachment to the material world is nothing but attachment to Krishna. When we have attachment to Krishna, automatically the detachment will happen to the material world. Why? Why does the attachment to Krishna help us in detachment to the material world? Because Krishna himself says, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam tayapahrata chesata vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhavana vidiyate. Krishna says, for those those whose mind is too attached to sense enjoyment, want to enjoy sense enjoyment, and to attachment to material opulences, to someone who's so attached to the sense enjoyment and material opulences, for such a person, the attachment towards devotional service or towards Krishna doesn't take place because his mind is full of sense enjoyment. But Krishna again says, but if you experience a higher taste, Vesaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavargyam rasopasta param drishtva nivartate. But Krishna says, even though you are having this attachment to your sense, to the sense enjoyment and everything, but if you Vesaya vinivartante, that if you have a higher taste of Krishna consciousness, coming to the Krishna mandir and doing the bhajans, engaging yourself in the association of devotees and practicing Krishna consciousness, practicing the chanting, when you have a higher taste, then you will be able to give up a lower taste. Right? So similarly, just like you take a small child who's enjoying a lollipop and suddenly you give a nice box of Ferrero Rochers, right? And once the child enjoys the Ferrero Rochers, is he going to look at the lollipop anymore? No, because he's got a higher taste, right? So Krishna nicely mentions that there are two ways in which you can practice controlling your mind. One is by practice, and second thing is by detachment. And two important slokas before we come into this. Bhagavan Sri Krishna tells a very, very important thing. He tells your mind is your best friend and your mind is your worst enemy as well. And also, Krishna says, he gives us so much of a knowledge. He says that how we have to uplift our life. Udared atmanatmanam atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hayatmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanah. Where Krishna says, Arjuna, one should elevate himself with the help of his mind. With your help of your mind, you should elevate your consciousness, right? And we should always think about how we can elevate our life. But again, if you don't do that, again, it will lead to destruction. So Krishna gives nicely a message to Arjuna that one, you have to uplift your life with the help of your mind and not degrade himself. He says the mind is a friend of the conditioned soul and his own enemy as well. So Krishna is giving us a beautiful message that your mind can be your best friend and your mind can be your worst enemy also. So you see, the inner battle, the most important battle is within yourself, to make your mind your best friend. If you make your mind your best friend, it will serve your best interest and it will elevate your life and you will have the best successful life. But if you fail to control your own mind, your mind will become your worst enemy. So Krishna says one must uplift himself or deliver himself with the help of your mind and not degrade himself. And a mind is a friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. Very interestingly, Krishna says this, but like a friend, Krishna talks about a mind being a friend or a mind being your own enemy. But again, there is another friend that Krishna talks about. And that friend, do you know who that friend is? That friend is sitting in each and everyone's heart. Bhoktaram yajana tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatnamam shantim richate. Krishna says one who understands Bhoktaram, that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, who understand that Krishna is the supreme lord of all these planets, one who understands that Krishna is the best well-wisher and best friend of all of us, he is the one who will have peace in his life. So Krishna himself is telling, if you want to have peace in your life, because in today's material world it's all about I, me, myself, but if you understand that there is a supreme lord who is actually the supreme enjoyer, and your relation with him is you have to serve him, and he is the enjoyer. He is the Lord of all the planets and He is the best friend and well-wisher. So Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, which means I am your best friend and I am your best well-wisher. And that well-wisher is Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who is sitting in each and every one of our heart. Right? But we have forgotten this best friend. And now Krishna is saying, if you can train your mind to be your best friend, so your friend, how can you train your mind to be best friend? By always serving Bhagavan Sri Krishna. In that way, your mind will become your best friend. So Krishna goes on to say another beautiful sloka. Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmaivatmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartatatmaiva shatruvat. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying, for one who has conquered his mind is the best of his friends. But for one who's failed to do so, his mind will remain his greatest enemy. So we have to remember that it is the best friend that we can. We are always looking at Facebook, we are looking at outside social media for friends, right? And we go to the school and colleges to make friends, but Krishna is talking about your inner friend, which is your mind. And it is very, very important for all of us to understand this. And because a lot of people suffer through this mental health issues because they're not able to control their mind, because the mind is not in their control. So here, Krishna says, like, how you can be your best friend. We are going to come to that. So that is just a backdrop of what I'm going to speak about. And now we're going to do this sloka, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna is mentioned. So that sloka is actually this one. You can see on the screen. So I will just recite this sloka, and then after that you can repeat each and every line. So Bhagavad Gita chapter number 6 and verse number 6.7. Jitatmana prasantasya paramatma samahita shitosna sukha dukkeshu tatamana pamanayo. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying, for one who has conquered his mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. Right? So I'll just give you each line. Please just repeat after me. Jitatmana prasantasya paramatma samahita shitosna sukha dukkeshu tatamana pamanayo. Jitatmana prasantasya paramatma samahita shitosna sukha dukkeshu tatamana pamanayo. Anybody would like to do the first line? Yeah, anyone? It's just the first one, Jitatmana prasantasya. Anyone? You can volunteer? Yeah, go ahead. Jitatmana prasantasya. Second one? Paramatma samahita shitosna sukha dukkeshu tatamana pamanayo. So, Jita Atmanaha. So you can repeat after me. Jita Atmana. Of one who has conquered his mind. Prasantasya. Who has attained tranquility by such control over the mind. Parama Atma, the super soul. Samahita, approach completely. Sita, in cold. Usna, heat. Sukha, happiness. Dukkeshu, and distress. Tata, also. Mana, in honor. Apamanayo, and dishonor. So I'm just going to offer our prayers to our Mangalacharan. I'll just do a quick Mangalacharan and we will dive into the Arati, into this, the meaning of the sloka. Om Ajnana Timurandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilatan Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamcha Sri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadu Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Would like to offer my obeisances to our Guru Dev, Srila Prabhupada, who has given us this beautiful Bhagavad Gita as it is, and all to all the Vaishnavas. I seek their blessings, because without the blessings of the Guru and Vaishnavas, we can't progress in our bhakti life. So the Vaishnavas and the Guru Parampara, they're very, very merciful. So I take their blessings, and thank you very much for joining as well. So we're very fortunate because there are so many Bhagavad Gitas out there. It is estimated that there are more than 600 versions of Bhagavad Gita. But we are very fortunate that we have the Bhagavad Gita version which is called as Bhagavad Gita as it is, which means exactly the way Bhagavan Sri Krishna spoke on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. A word-to-word meaning has been given by Srila Prabhupada. And we have to show our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, who has given us this most authentic version of Bhagavad Gita. And many times Srila Prabhupada himself used to read the Bhagavad Gita, and the disciple used to ask, Gurudev, how come you are reading this? It's because, and he mentioned, it's because Krishna was the one who's actually directed, and I'm just an instrument. So we can imagine that this whole thing is actually being guided by Sri Krishna Bhagavan himself. So we are very, very fortunate that we are here assembled and reading Bhagavad Gita, as you know. So as I was just mentioning a backdrop, because so that you can get an idea about what exactly the picture here in this verse. So here, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying that one who has conquered his mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. So, very interestingly, when you say super soul, who's the super soul here? Bhagavan Sri Krishna, right? So Krishna is telling an idea that one who has conquered his mind. How can we conquer our mind in today's material world? How is it that we can conquer our mind? But because Krishna is saying that one who has conquered his mind, he has already attained Krishna. And once he has attained Krishna, then for such kind of a person who's attained Krishna, he will be able to tolerate happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor. For him, it's all one and the same. Right? So it's very important, because Krishna Bhagavan is saying in Bhagavad Gita, in chapter number 2, he mentions, Matras parsastu kaunteya, shitosna sukha dukkada, agama payino nitya, stam titiksa swabharata. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Arjuna, this temporary appearance of happiness and distress, heat and cold, they are just like summer and winter season, Arjuna, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. You have to accept them, and one, you should learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So when it is too hot, don't get disturbed, you learn to tolerate, and exactly at the same time, when it is too cold, don't get disturbed. When there will be some joy in your life, you get overexcited, and at the same time when there is a problem, you go into depression. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying, be balanced in your mind. Don't get so this thing when something is, going bad, you go into depression. So he's talking about having a balanced mind. You should learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. But where will we get the strength to tolerate, right? Where do we get the strength to tolerate? That's the most important thing. In order to conquer the mind, what is the process that we can use in order to conquer a mind? Because we are living in a world of duality, right? And in this world of duality, there is going to be happiness and there is going to be distress. There is going to be honor and there is going to be dishonor. And in everybody's life we are seeing, right? Can we find a single person who's happy all the time? Sometimes the problems come knocking the door, right? I don't want problem, but they're coming and knocking your door, right? And they just come. Sometimes they don't even knock, they just come directly right into our life. We've seen that happening, right? And we wonder, like, why is this happening? I don't want any distress, but it is happening. Why? Because we are living in a world which is covered by the three gunas, Sattva guna, Rajo guna, and Tamo guna. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Prakrite kriya manani gunai karmani sharvashaha ahankara vimudatma kartahammiti manyate. Krishna says, the jivatma, that is we, under the influence of false ego, we think we are the doer of all the activities, but in actuality, Krishna is saying everything is but done by the three modes of material nature. So according to the karmic reactions that we have, the three modes of the material, the sattva guna and raja guna and tamo guna, these guys, they're always keeping us like puppets and giving us, throwing into all kind of situations. Sometimes you are in sattva guna, sometimes you are in raja guna, sometimes you are in tamo guna. So Krishna himself is saying, you are just like puppets in the hands of this material energy, but that energy is in the hands of Krishna. Daivihayesha gunamayi mama maya duratya mamayevi prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Krishna says, Arjuna, this divine energy which is keeping you in control like puppets is working according to my direction, Arjuna. And I'm the one who's actually controlling. So very important thing, how do we rise above these three gunas? By taking to the shelter of Krishna. Taking to the shelter of Krishna. So here the main focus here is how you can control your mind. I was just looking at today morning only, there was a nice, beautiful kind of a quote which was given by Srila Prabhupada, our Gurudev, because our Gurudev has given us not only Bhagavad Gita, he's given us beautiful purports and explanation based on the explanation given by our all Guru Parampara. Great Vaishnavas have given a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. So Srila Prabhupada has given us all the consolidated commentary of that. And it is very, very important to take the blessings of Guru, because Sri Krishna Bhagavan tells in Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidde pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshanaha. Krishna tells Arjuna, Arjuna, you should all approach a spiritual master. We should all have a Guru in our life. We should serve the Guru. And the Guru will give us all the knowledge which will take us back to the lotus feet of Krishna. You see how when we sincerely pray to Krishna, Krishna will give us a Guru, a genuine Guru, a bona fide spiritual master. And that spiritual master will give us all the knowledge which will take us back to the lotus feet of Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here, quote unquote, you can control the mind very easily if you keep the lotus feet of Krishna within you. That is all. Simply think of Krishna and you are the conqueror. You are victorious and you will become the topmost yogi. So here, in order to control your mind, where Krishna mentions once who has conquered his mind, he will be able to attain Krishna. But how to conquer the mind, how to control the mind? So Prabhupada himself is mentioning that you should always control your mind by keeping the lotus feet of Krishna within you. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna mentions towards the end of this chapter, Dhyana Yoga, after explaining to Arjuna about the meditational yoga of going into the forest and doing all that, and Arjuna says, Krishna, it is impossible for me to do that. And finally, towards the end of the chapter, what does Krishna tell Arjuna? Yoginamapi sarvesam madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamamataha. So Krishna Bhagavan tells the one who's always thinking of me within himself and always having the complete faith and engaging in devotion towards me, Arjuna, I consider that person to be most intimately united with me, and that is the highest form of yoga which is called as Bhakti Yoga. So Krishna Bhagavan himself is giving the definition of the topmost yoga which is called as Bhakti Yoga. That is one who's always thinking of Krishna within his heart and always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Srila Prabhupada is saying that person is the highest yogi. So a yogi doesn't mean that someone who's wearing a saffron and going into the Himalayas and chanting. No, we don't need to do anything. Wherever you are sitting, even at home, if you're able to just think of Krishna within your heart and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, you are the highest yogi, according to Krishna Bhagavan. And Krishna says, this is my opinion. In today's material world, if you ask for people's opinion, they'll give you so many opinions, right? But here, Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself is telling, this is my opinion. This is the highest form of yoga, one who's always thinking of Krishna within his heart. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna has mentioned it very clearly, right? What does he say? that he's sitting as the Paramatma in each and everyone's heart. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hrideshi Arjuna Tishtati. Krishna is telling, I am sitting in each and everyone's heart. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivisto mata smritir jnanam apohanam sa. Krishna is saying, I am sitting in everyone's heart, and from me you are getting your remembrance, your knowledge, your forgetfulness, everything is coming from me. So Krishna is giving us this knowledge, and he's saying that I am sitting within your heart. So all that we have to do is meditate on Krishna who's sitting within your heart by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is what Prabhupada has been giving, that in this world of duality, of heat and cold, happiness and distress, and all these things that are going on, the best way to do is tolerate. But so what happens is, when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we are chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we all develop this great quality. It is not that just we are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. By chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what happens is three things happen. Very, very important for Jnana Yoga. Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvarpanam, and third thing is awakening of Krishna Prema. So the first thing, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, what happens is, when we are chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we all seen, right? We have this chanting bag, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So what happens when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is, it cleanses your heart and it cleanses your mind. Your heart is compared to a mirror. So when a mirror is full of dust, can you see yourself clearly? Similarly, we have accumulated so many samskaras, so many past impressions from so many lifetimes we have accumulated in our heart. Now, how to remove all these samskaras from your heart? How to cleanse your heart? How to cleanse your mind? By chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the first thing that's going to happen is, your mind will be cleansed. Your mind will be purified. Your heart will be purified. Right? And Dava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam. That means this material existence is compared to a forest fire. Right? And this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra will give you complete protection from this material nature. And the third thing what it will do is, one, it will cleanse your heart, it will cleanse your mind by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Second thing, it will reduce all the material anxieties that you have in your life. And third thing is, it will awaken the Krishna Prema for you. It will awaken the love of Krishna for you. Because Srila Prabhupada has explained that there is dormant love for Krishna in everyone's heart. Everybody's heart, there is dormant love for Krishna. But because we have completely forgotten Krishna, because we got completely absorbed in this material world, it is completely in a sleeping stage. It is mentioned that even before the baby is born, the baby actually, once it gets consciousness in the womb of a mother, actually it prays to Krishna, saying that, please bring me out of this horrible condition. I promise to you that once I come out, I will pray to you. But what happens once you come out? You completely forget. You completely forget. Immediately the material energy takes control. Right? All the three gunas, sattva guna, rajo guna, take over. Your parents, all the parents, everybody, your mama, everybody, they come into the picture, and completely we've forgotten about God. So once again, how do we engage our mind in awakening the love for Krishna? Because once we awaken the love for Krishna, your mind will be purified. Your mind will become your best friend. When make Krishna as our our best friend within our heart. So for that, it is very important that we keep chanting. That's the reason why Srila Prabhupada has given us this mantra meditation. You know, there's some people who talk about meditation, sitting in a dark room with a candle and focusing on the candle. How long can you focus on a candle? Right? But Prabhupada has given us this mantra meditation where the focus is on hearing the sound vibration. You don't need to keep your mind focused on anything. You're only thinking about hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So when we're chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, your mind is completely focused on listening or hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that Hare Krishna Mahamantra enters through your ears, does, enters into your mind and it cleanses your mind and it purifies your mind. And once the mind is purified by the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then you will be able to control your mind. Why? Because now your mind has found higher taste. So you see many of our devotees here who come and serve over here in the temple. There are so many devotees, they come and do kirtan over here. So many devotees, they come and work in the Goshala over here. So many devotees, they come and do organic farming. Some devotees, they're cleaning this. Some devotees are going and serving the Mahaprasadam. So once you engage in serving Krishna, then you get a higher taste. Visaya vinivartante niraharasya dehe rasabhajyam rasupasta param dristva nivarte. Param dristva, you got a higher taste. And there is a book out here in ISKCON, the book is called as Higher Taste. It has got a lot of Vaishnava, vegetarian recipes. And it's very nicely mentioned as higher taste. Because this is what it is. When you start chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, when you get used to doing the kirtan regularly, in the beginning your mind is saying, no, I don't want to do it. But if you forcefully bring it to the mandir, and if you be in the association of the devotees, because there are 4 things we can do in order to make your mind your best friend and to conquer your mind. What is that? The first thing is A, stand for association with devotees, right? When you're associating with drunkards and people who go to the bar, you will also become, you get used to the drinking. I remember I come from a beach city, right, by the beach. And I remember when my friends were there, we used to all hang out on the beach. And most of my friends, where they pick up the smoking is on the beach, where all the friends are there. Because if 10 people are smoking, the 11th person will pick up. So similarly, when we come to the mandir, and when we see all the devotees, because this place is in the mode of pure sattva guna. So when you come into this place where the spiritual energy is vibrating with this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because right from morning 4:30, this temple is full of vibrating with Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So when we are soaking in this energy, your mind will become calm. Don't you feel very peaceful when you come to the mandir? You be very, very peaceful, right? Why? Because this is spiritual energy. You are absorbing the spiritual energy. That's why they say when you go to a mandir, you should sit there for some time. Why? Because we have to soak in that spiritual energy. So A stands for associating with the devotees, joining satsang. We have so many online satsangs. If you cannot come to the temple, you can join the satsang. I remember when the coronavirus time, when the coronavirus time, people were not allowed to go outside. So that time our bhakti went to the top. Because we started joining online satsangs. And for 2 years, we were literally every week, we were reading Bhagavad Gita, we were chanting, we were doing bhajans, and I used to say yes to everything. So I landed up learning slokas, reciting Bhagavad Gita, and doing kirtans. And for 2 years, because everybody was stuck at home, we slowly picked up Bhagavad Gita and everything. So by the time 2 years we came to the mandir, all of us met, we have already gone a nice way in Bhagavad Gita. We learnt about Krishna book, we learnt about Bhagavatam, so many beautiful things. So the first thing is associating with the devotees. So these are the tips, these are the ways in which you can conquer the mind, which is what Krishna is telling here. That once you conquer your mind, then you have attained Krishna. So first, when you are in the association of devotees, the devotees will push you. Just like a Mumbai train. If you're standing in a Mumbai train, they say you don't need to try hard to get out. You just be near the door, they will only push you out. So like that, the devotees, there's so much of energy they have. So when you are there in the association of the devotees, they will push you further to get into bhakti life. So first thing is association with the devotees. Second thing is Bhagavad Gita, books. Book stands for Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. What is the difference between Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam? Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and Bhagavatam is about Krishna and his friends. So by reading daily Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, because Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, they are the literal incarnation of Krishna. Don't think that Bhagavad Gita is a book. It is an incarnation of Krishna. So when you take first step in reading even one sloka of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will take 10 steps towards you and he will give you all the knowledge to understand Bhagavad Gita. Because many times people say, I cannot understand Bhagavad Gita, it's very high philosophy, right? Many people say that, right? But Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajati priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. Krishna is saying to those who are constantly chanting my Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, to those devotees who are constantly serving Krishna with love, Krishna says, I will give them the intelligence by which they will come to me. So Krishna will give us the intelligence by which you can understand Bhagavad Gita. So it is a realized knowledge. It is not a knowledge which I can mug it up every day and say Jitatmana, Jitatmana. It's not like that. It is a knowledge which is revealed by Krishna. And that knowledge is revealed when you take the first step of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So as you keep chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, my mind is purified, my heart is cleansed, and that in that purified mind, Krishna will give us, he is Antaryami, right? He will give us all the knowledge by which we can understand Krishna. So the second thing is, first one, association with the devotees. Second thing, books, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. C stands for chanting the holy name. So every day in the morning, make it a commitment. Because if you take one small commitment towards Krishna, that early morning when I get up, I will just chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Just one round of chanting, if you can do, which will take you maximum about 8 minutes. Imagine the Supreme Bhagavan Sri Krishna who is giving us all the knowledge, ready to do everything for us. Can't we give 8 minutes of our time for Krishna? So Krishna says when you do this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is directly coming from spiritual world. Golokare Premadane Harinama Sankirtan. It's directly coming from the spiritual world. Kalikale Namarupa Krishna Avatar. In Kali Yuga, Bhagavan Sri Krishna came in the avatar of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So when you're chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, this is the Nama avatar of Krishna. So Krishna is immediately with you when you're chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Right? So A stands for association with the devotees. B stands for books. C stands for chanting. And what does D stands for? Devotional service. Devotional service. Prabhupada has mentioned very clearly, we talk about worship. Worship means to adore, to respect. Sometimes we can usually use the word, he's worshipping. You go to a temple, you're worshipping, you're showing your respects and coming back. But here, Srila Prabhupada has emphasized on devotional service. Devotional service means in bhakti, you're serving Krishna. Like here, like many of you, I work in the IT space, we are the IT project manager, and I just come here from the last 8 years. I've been coming here every Saturday, coming here to serve Krishna. And we got so used to, and it is such an addiction. Serving Krishna is such an addiction that once you get used to serving Krishna, nothing in the world will give you so much of joy that you get by serving Krishna. Come and do anything over here. First time I was standing with all the devotees and I was singing Hare Krishna, and then slowly I started giving Aarti. And slowly, Krishna will give you all this. Krishna will give you all these opportunities if you keep an open mind. And then they said, why don't you start singing the Aarti? I started singing the Aarti. And once I started singing the Aarti, one preacher didn't turn up. He said, can you preach for 15 minutes? And when I preached, they said, okay, from next Saturday you are doing it. So like that, I got even the preaching service also. Otherwise, I was thinking I never can preach in my life. So Krishna will give us such kind of opportunities that you yourself will be surprised that you're able to do all these things. I never in my life thought that I could do kirtan on a harmonium. I never in my life thought I could do preaching. I never in my life thought that I could do Go Puja in the Goshala. I never even thought that I could do any of these kirtans or anything. But Krishna is so kind because he is the one who has given us all the knowledge, all the skills. Everything is coming from Krishna. So when you start serving Krishna, Krishna will give you all the skills in order to serve him. And you yourself will be so surprised and shocked that how did I do all these things? How am I able to do all these things? But things which you had never even imagined in your life, that some people think, no, I don't think I'm good at singing, I don't think I'm good at playing this instrument. Like that, I used to think, and sometimes when the Prabhuji say, I'll teach you harmonium, I say, I refuse for 1 week. I said, Prabhuji, please. And today, every evening, I sit in front of Krishna and I'm playing my kirtan. So it is not about us, it is about Krishna giving us the skills and the ability to serve Him. So the way to conquer your mind is by engaging and making Krishna your best friend, because that best friend is sitting in everyone's heart. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshi arjuna tishtati. He's sitting in everyone's heart. So once you start serving Krishna, then many things happen. Your mind is purified, your heart is purified. It awakens the love for Krishna, and Krishna will make all the divine arrangements for you to come closer to Him. And once, so here it is saying the way, if you engage your mind in this higher taste of practicing Krishna consciousness, singing Krishna bhajans, and doing all these things, jitatmana prasantasya paramatma samahita, which means the nature of a person who's engaged in Krishna consciousness, you can see the indication that that person has become very, very calm and peaceful, right? You will become so calm and peaceful. I can tell you from my own example, because I work as an IT project manager. So whenever we used to have some problems, before I left my last company, one of the things they told me in the feedback is, one of the things we wanted to learn from you is, how is it that in the most stressful situations where all of us get so frustrated, you are so calm and peaceful, and you are not getting frustrated, you're not having any anxiety, and you seem to be very peaceful. What is the secret behind this? There were managers who used to come and tell me, like, what is it that you have done which makes you so peaceful? And that is when you realize that by practicing Krishna consciousness, you will develop a certain kind of a peaceful mindset, that no matter what kind of a challenges that life throws at you, you will be able to handle those situations with a calm peace of mind. So when you are, how do we conquer the mind? By chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, by daily reading Bhagavad Gita. Krishna gives you the inspiration. Hato va prapsasi swargam jitva va boksasi mahim tasmad uttistaya kaunteya yuddhaya kritanishchaya. How we encourage Arjuna, stand up and fight. What can happen? Either you will lose this battlefield, but if you are doing your dharma, then you will get to the higher planets. Or if you win the war, you will enjoy a kingdom. So what is there to lose? Arjuna, come on, stand up and fight. So like that, Krishna has so many encouraging words in Bhagavad Gita. So by reading Bhagavad Gita daily, by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we will be able to conquer a mind, because we will. So this is what the sloka is telling. Jitatmana prasantasya paramatma samahita shitosna sukhadukkada tatamana pamanayo. That a person, the nature of a person who's practicing Krishna consciousness is someone who's very, very peaceful, very, very tranquil. You can find that. And for such kind of a person, Krishna is already reached. You know why Krishna is already reached and why he's able to tolerate heat and cold, happiness and distress? Because when we are engaging your mind in a higher purpose to serve Krishna, and engaging your mind in all this devotional service, Krishna will give you the strength to face all the difficulties. It is not that a devotee of Krishna will not have any problems. It is just that he will be so spiritually strong that he is able to handle any situations so easily. And second thing is, as you keep chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, your mind is always hankering after things, isn't it? I want this, I want that. Or your mind is always lamenting about something. So the side effects of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is, it will reduce your hankering day by day. So you stop hankering for all kind of material things. So you're peaceful. Because why? Because your mind is constantly telling, oh, my neighbor has this, I should get that. My colleague has that, I want to get that. So by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this hankering will go down. And second thing is the lamentation. Either we live in the past or we live in the future. That is not there. This is not. By chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it will keep your mind mindfulness by keeping in the present. Krishna talks about mindfulness 5,000 years ago. Yato yato nischalate manaschanchalamasstiram. Krishna says, Arjuna, if your mind is wandering here and there, bring it back by chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra and keep your mind focused on this mantra. So he talks about mindfulness 5,000 years ago. So we can take this message from Bhagavan Sri Krishna that the best way to conquer our mind is to purify our mind and purify our consciousness. Think, as Prabhupada has mentioned, Yoginam api sarvesam madgaten antaratma. Thinking of Krishna within our heart. Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart. Right? So Krishna tells the highest yogi is one who's thinking of Krishna within his heart and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna is saying that is the topmost yogi. Not a yogi you will find in the Himalayas, not anywhere at all. At your home or in the mandir, just sit and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna, very interestingly, in Bhakti Yoga, chapter number 12, he gives a list of all the qualities that he likes in his devotees. Do you know that? He gives a list of Arjuna. These qualities, if you have, I really love such kind of a devotee. Advaita sarva bhutana maitra karuna evacha. Like that, Krishna says, Samo satrocha mitrecha tatamana pamanayo shitosna sukha agama payino. Krishna says, one who's able, one who's equipoised to friends and enemies, who's equal to friends and enemies, who's equal, both equipoised, both in honor and dishonor, he's the same, right? When there is heat and cold, he's able to tolerate the thing. A person who has these qualities to withstand and be balanced and tolerate without getting disturbed, Arjuna, such kind of a devotee is very, very dear to me. So the way it works is, if you take to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna, it will purify your mind, it will purify your consciousness, it will help you in making Krishna your best friend. And once Krishna is your best friend and he gives you all the spiritual strength, then we will be able to overcome all kind of challenges. Heat and cold, honor and dishonor, any kind of things we are able to tolerate because Krishna is giving us the strength. And when we are able to tolerate that like that, Krishna says, such kind of a devotee is very dear to me. So what can be more beautiful than having Krishna as our best friend, right? So we want to give you this message. So now 7 o'clock the Aarti is going to start. So can I ask everyone to put your hands in the mood of surrender and let's do one final one. Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Krishna Krishna! Hare Hare! Hare Rama! Hare Rama! Rama Rama! Hare Hare! Thank you very much for giving us your precious time, and this is the time for the Aarti, Gaura Aarti. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, just as you're